In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some rainy day cleaning motivation along with several super cozy recipes. These are all family-friendly recipes and they are perfect for fall or really any time of the year. And we are going to start things out today with an autumn crock pot chili recipe, and then we'll get into some relaxing cleaning. I have this recipe card right here on the screen, so you can go ahead and screenshot that and print that out or save that for another time whenever you're ready to make this recipe. But this is an incredibly easy recipe. All you're going to be doing is chopping up your onions. Go ahead and cook up some chicken. I just had some shredded chicken that I had made the night before, but you can use canned chicken or just any leftover chicken that you might have. Then you're going to drain 2 cans of navy beans and add all the ingredients into the crock pot. Give that a good stir and then cook on low for about 7 hours or on high for 3 to 4 hours. This is going to make your kitchen smell just like fall, and it's perfect whether you enjoy it today or you enjoy it throughout the week. It's one of those recipes that definitely gets better and better with time as the flavors meld together. But I really hope you guys enjoy this one, and I also hope you enjoy all of today's video and just feel relaxed and motivated and also get a few new recipe ideas.
Child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you?
So today we are starting off in the kitchen. As you can see, it has gotten away from me as per usual. You guys know how this goes, but it's never too far gone. You can always bring it back. So I'm just starting to clear the counters, and while I'm doing that, I'm actually popping in my AirPods and I'm going to be listening to an audiobook. You guys will have to let me know if you ever listen to audiobooks or podcasts or music while you're cleaning. My favorite go-to is usually an audiobook. I usually go for like the self-help books, things like that. I don't typically listen to novels on audiobooks, but you guys will have to let me know if you have any recommendations, because I feel like I've listened to a ton and I'm always looking for more. Also, be sure to stay tuned because later on in the video, I am going to be sharing several more recipes. These are all going to be pretty healthy recipes, and they're also going to be gluten and dairy free in case if you have any allergies. But if you don't have any allergies, don't worry because they are just so delicious. Anyone's going to love them.
How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Hold on tight, it'll be alright. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. Longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright.
Putting away the dishes is something that typically is our kids' job. It's one of their daily chores, but I've talked about this with you guys before. I feel like we've been struggling with getting ready for school in the morning and also getting the dishwasher unloaded and doing all their things that they need to do before school. Last year, somehow we managed to keep this task going, but this school year, it's just seemed to be hard to get ready on time and still get their chores done before they go to school. And then by the time they're home from school and free to do the dishwasher, I've usually tackled it so that I can go ahead and start loading it for the day. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll get kind of more in the swing of things as the year goes on. But for now, we're just kind of taking things day by day. Some days they get around to it, some days I do. But one thing I mentioned recently is I'm really wanting to get back into like my cleaning routine. So I'm actually going to be working on getting that situated and getting that really kind of under control. And then hoping that I can share that with you guys in the coming weeks. Let me know in the comments if you would be interested in seeing like a new cleaning routine from me, because like I said, I've just been struggling and I really think I just need to completely throw out my old cleaning routine and just start from scratch and find something that's really going to work for me right now.
Before the world, you said I'm distant as your child. So wherever I run, let me walk along the path you put your light on. God, you see behind the faces that I tried on. Yeah, that's why.
Before I get the dishes going, or before I hand wash the dishes, I guess, I'm going to actually be switching out my hand washing, dishwashing station area. I have my favorite fall scent, which is the apple cider from Mrs. Meyer's. I love this stuff. And if you have been here for several years, you probably remember this guy. I pulled him out of my cleaning cabinet and I'm going to be going back to my Bubble Up dish brush. I used to use this every single day for years, and I just decided to kind of change it up, but I just wanted to go back to this because I really did love it and I haven't used this in a long time. Also, it gives me the opportunity to use one of my favorite scents, and also honestly, it is a lot cheaper to do this because you use like so much less soap. So we're gonna go ahead and change that out, and I'm excited to get back into my Bubble Up dish brush.
You should see the city lights tonight. I don't think they've ever burned this bright.
I've talked about this so many times with you guys where I feel like it really is so beneficial to change things up in homemaking and just find new ways to make things feel more fresh and not so monotonous. Because definitely homemaking can feel like you're doing the same thing day after day, and it can feel very boring sometimes. And so just kind of finding those small ways to make changes, whether you're making changes to your cleaning routine or you're adding in some different cleaning utensils or cleaning scents, things like that. The dish brush that I'm adding back in, that's just a great example of that. It's not like it's making a huge change, it's not anything crazy, but it's just kind of changing up a little bit in my routine. And I feel like those kind of things actually make a pretty big difference, or at least for me they do. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but it definitely doesn't go unnoticed for me. Another thing that really helps if you're kind of feeling in a rut with homemaking is shifting your focus and just taking that time to slow your mind down. I actually shared this a lot in last week's video and talked about this throughout that video. So if you're kind of feeling in a rut, I'm going to go ahead and link that one down below for you guys. But that video was just super calming with a lot of chit chat and some mindset stuff. But let me know in the comment, what tip would you share on ways to enjoy homemaking more or kind of being more successful in homemaking? I feel like we all have so many great things to share. So what would be like your number one tip that you would share with someone? So a few weeks ago, I shared our fall clean and decorate, and that was kind of the kickoff to fall here in our home. If you've been here for a while, you know we live in Arizona, so outside is not necessarily fall, but inside we are full-blown fall mode. We are trying to keep things cozy. We have football on in the background. We have crock pot meals going, candles burning all the time. Like, we are just doing all those things, and I've been loving sharing a lot of fall videos with you guys. Let me know in the comments if there's any fall kind of video that you would like to see from me, or even if it's not fall themed, let me know in the comments what kind of content and videos would be most helpful for you to see from me. Also, because I'm always just trying to share videos that are the most helpful for you guys, let me know if there's like a specific video length that you would like to see. A lot of times I've been getting in the habit of sharing a little bit longer videos, like 40-minute videos or so, but I definitely can share some shorter ones if that's all you have time for, or if you're really digging the long videos, let me know that too. That way I can just be sure to be sharing things that are the most helpful for you guys.
When my eyes can't see, when I can't seem to carry on, I know your hand is guiding me. I know your hand is guiding me.
So as I'm editing and just seeing that little crack on the bottom of the counter, like underneath the countertop on the middle of the screen, I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just reminding me about like the makeovers that we're hoping to do. One of them being our kitchen. That has just been, you know, kind of on the back burner because of other things going on. But that did remind me, we actually did start on Luke's bedroom this week. And just like any other makeover or house projects, almost immediately we ran into hiccups. It just never fails. That's always how it goes. So we had to cut filming short on the first day and put that on hold. But we are getting things worked out later today, actually. And we will be getting back into filming tomorrow. So if all goes as planned from here on out, you guys are actually going to be seeing Luke's bedroom makeover on Monday, just this coming week. And then we're planning to just continue sharing those like on the next Thursday and Monday, just to kind of get those shared out to you guys really quickly. But I cannot wait, and the boys are so beyond excited to finally be getting their rooms like styled and just really functional for them. So if you are not already subscribed and you don't have that notification bell on, be sure that you click the subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on those makeover videos, along with all the other videos that will be coming out soon on the channel.
Brand new street and brand new me. Side by side, by friends I need. Don't you tell me that you're in town, I already know. Couple days ago. Hey, now that our names are written in stone, let's be honest, sounds like home. Still I'm here alone and I'm calling your phone. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could dream about somebody else. I wish I could talk when the silence so loud. I wish, oh I wish. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could do something that will make sense. I wish I would know what you're thinking about. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. like take a bow. Already know, now you gotta go. Hey, now that our names are written in stone, let's be honest, sounds like home. Still I'm here alone and I'm calling your phone. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could dream about somebody else. I wish I could talk when the silence so loud. I wish, oh I wish. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could do something that will make sense.
Oh my gosh, as soon as I saw this clip of putting the fall garland up on our mantle, it just made me feel so excited for Christmas. I know we are still a ways away and I'm not rushing things for sure, but I am just so excited for when Christmas arrives. I absolutely love fall. It's one of my favorite times of year for sure, but there's something about Christmas. It's just so magical and so family oriented. I just feel like there is no better time of year and I just cannot wait for Christmas. Plus, I get to bring out all the Christmas decor and decorate for Christmas, and that's just always one of my favorite things to do as well. I have actually not been out shopping in quite a while. I feel like we just haven't really been buying a lot of things lately, and anything I have been buying has been mostly done online or Facebook Marketplace or something like that. But you guys will have to let me know, in your area, are you already starting to see Christmas things out in the stores? I feel like it's very early, but honestly, we are getting close to October, so it wouldn't even surprise me if there's starting to be Christmas things out. That's one thing that I kind of wish that they would just wait and hold off at least till like November, but then at the same time, I know you kind of have to get things ahead of time, so I don't know. I'm a little torn on it, but either way, let me know if you are seeing Christmas items out in your store, or are the stores near you still like full on fall. Now that we have our living room and kitchen looking nice and tidy and clean, we are going to start cooking those yummy recipes I was telling you guys about, so you can enjoy them all year round for sure. But there are aspects of each of these recipes that just really remind me of fall. They're super warm, really cozy. I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to share these ones with you guys. Now, like I had mentioned earlier, these are going to be like paleo friendly, so they are gluten-free and dairy-free. But trust me, even if you enjoy gluten and dairy, you are not going to be missing them in these recipes. They are really, really yummy. And they're also, like pretty much all the ones I ever share with you guys, they are very simple. They're not like some crazy, you know, fancy recipe or anything, but they taste incredible. So we have a main dish. It's going to be like a chicken salad with a little extra in it. And then we are also going to have like some side dishes, but one of them is a Hasselback sweet potato, and that can actually be made into like a whole meal. And then we have two super delicious like dessert treat recipes. So we have a lot that I'm going to share with you guys as far as like recipes go. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I think we're going to start out with the chicken salad, and we're also going to check on this. This chili is smelling, oh my gosh, you guys, I wish you could smell it. Just like that tiny little hint of cinnamon that we added in, it is smelling like so fall in here, and we have our candles going. I wish you guys could smell videos. You would be drooling on this one, but this is looking so good. Okay, let's do this. Actually, I have a slight change of plans. I decided I'm going to make myself some mud water, just so I have something warm to sip on while I'm cooking. So I'm grabbing a mug. I seriously need to come back in here and declutter already. I don't know how we accumulate so many mugs. I don't feel like we get them a lot, but I'm gonna make some mud water and then we'll get to cooking.
Turn your sorrow in, burn every piece of it. Let me comfort you, I'll be your go-to. Cause these are youthful days, we will grow in great, worse or better. Our time is best together. You must know that I love you so, never bargain you for your weight in gold. And this is only a measure, it can only get better. It can only get better. And this is only a measure. It can only get better. It can only get better. If you're seeing through a single eye, you're missing half of what this world looks like.
All right, this first recipe that we're gonna make is super simple. It's just a chicken salad. I'm just using canned chicken today, but you can definitely shred your own chicken, cook that up, whatever. The few items that make this feel like a fall chicken salad is because you're adding in cranberries, you add in pecans and apple. All of those will give it like a delicious crunch and sweetness. It just feels like fall to me. So we're gonna go ahead and whip that up, and then we'll move on to the next recipe. For this recipe, you're going to need 3 cups of shredded chicken, 1 diced apple, 3 stalks of celery all chopped up, half a cup of chopped pecans, 1/3 cup of dried cranberries, 1/3 cup of mayonnaise, the juice of half a lemon, 1 tablespoon of dill or parsley, and salt and pepper to taste. So to start out, you're just going to want to wash your produce and then chop up your apples and celery, and make sure you dice them up nice and small into bite-sized pieces. And if you don't enjoy some of these mix-ins, you can definitely omit any ones you don't like or don't have. And you can also add in things like grapes. You can also add in green onions. Those are just a few other additional mix-ins that are super yummy. Next, in a small mixing bowl, you're going to add in all of your shredded chicken. Now you can make this from home yourself, or you can do as I'm doing here using canned chicken. I typically would make my own chicken, but I just did not actually have any frozen chicken on hand at this moment, and so I kind of went with what I had. And then once you have that in your bowl, you're going to add in all of the rest of your mix-ins, including your apples, chopped pecans, celery. Give that a good mix until everything is nice and distributed, and then you can add in your mayonnaise along with your lemon juice and whatever herb you're liking to use, which I go for dill, but you could also use parsley, and then just salt and pepper to taste. Then give everything a really good mix until everything is well combined. This recipe comes together in no time, especially if you're doing what I'm doing here and just using canned chicken, or if you have leftover shredded chicken. This is just such a great way to use up those leftovers. And I love the addition of the cranberries and the pecans and the apple in here. I feel like it's something you don't always see in a chicken salad, and I feel like it gives you a lot of those fresh flavors, a lot of added crunch, while also feeling very cozy and warm like fall. It is still raining outside. It's been like on and off all day. It's kind of drizzling now, but it was like a downpour just a few minutes ago. We have to celebrate the rain here in Arizona because other than monsoon season, we just do not get a whole lot of it. The next thing we are going to work on are some Hasselback sweet potatoes. If you have never had Hasselback potatoes, they are super yummy. They're basically like a fancy baked potato, except that they give you like a lot more texture, because instead of just baking it and cutting it down the middle, you're actually going to make a lot of different cuts in it, and it's just going to give like that much more surface area for everything to crisp up. So we are going to be using sweet potatoes today, but if you don't like sweet potatoes, you can definitely use regular potatoes for this, and then you can top it with basically whatever you want. I'm gonna do 2 options today, so you can either do like a sweet option with sugar and cinnamon, or you can do a savory option with rosemary and just some different more savory spices. To make these Hasselback sweet potatoes, you're going to start with however many sweet potatoes you want, along with coconut oil or olive oil. And then depending on what kind of flavor profile you want, whether you want it to be sweet or savory, I like to add in some coconut sugar and cinnamon and sea salt for a sweeter flavor. Or you can go the other way with fresh garlic, rosemary, and salt and pepper, and that gives a delicious savory flavor. So to start out on these, you're going to get 2 wooden spoons or really anything that you can put on either side of your sweet potato. And the reason you do that is, as you can see, when I cut down, it cuts almost all the way through, but not quite to the bottom of the sweet potato. And that just helps keep it intact, so you're not just literally slicing it, but you're able to slice it while still keeping the sweet potato hooked together on the bottom. And doing this is going to give all of those flavors that we're going to add in the opportunity to go throughout the sweet potato, but in a really unique way where you're getting a lot of surface area. It's going to give a totally different texture than like a regular baked sweet potato. And you can also do this with a regular potato if you don't care for sweet potatoes. Next, I'm just going to start preparing the garlic. This is my favorite way to mince fresh garlic. I have shared this tool a few times in the past, but it just makes it so easy to mince all the garlic very quickly. And I also love that the cleanup is super, super quick and easy. So I will have this link down below along with anything else that I'm using in today's video. Now, once you have all of your toppings prepped and you have your sweet potatoes cut almost all the way through so they're sliced like you can see here, you're just going to grab a large baking sheet or baking dish. And I prefer to line mine with some parchment paper just to make cleanup a little bit easier. And because I am doing 2 different flavor profiles, one being very sweet and one being more savory, I'm actually going to use a piece of parchment paper to kind of divide those. But if you're doing all sweet or all savory, you can definitely skip this step. And now at this point, do as I say, not as I do. Whenever I would usually make this, I would do all savory or all sweet. But because I was trying to show you guys 2 different ways of doing this, I made sweet and savory at the same time. And I decided to do it a little bit differently, and it didn't work out quite as well as it usually would. So as you can see right here, I'm just putting the toppings directly over the sweet potatoes, but I'm adding them on individually. And normally what I would do is put all of these toppings into a bowl. So I would add your oil, then add whatever seasonings you're doing, adding the garlic in there, and then I would actually drizzle all of that over the sweet potato. And it just seems to go into the nooks and crannies of the sweet potatoes a lot nicer this way. So I would say this still did pretty much work, where I just added in the oil on top and then I added in all of the additional seasonings, but it just was not quite the same. So definitely, like I said, do as I say, not as I do, and this will turn out incredible. Now you're just going to pop this in a 400-degree oven and bake for about 45 minutes or so, or until the sweet potato is nice and tender. And I will show you a little bit later, but right before we pull it out, maybe 5 or 10 minutes before they're finished cooking, I will actually go back in and add a little bit more infused oil on top, and that just helps to make it a little bit extra moist and kind of bring out those flavors once again. All right, this next recipe is so super simple. I actually learned it from my mom when she came to visit kind of recently. So here, gonna start with some green beans. Some fresh green beans. You don't want these to be like canned or frozen because you want them to still have like that crunch and bite when you cook them. But basically you're going to start out by steaming them, and then once they are mostly steamed, you're going to saute them with some garlic and oil in a pan. And they are like the most incredible way to enjoy green beans. They are my new favorite, and I definitely wanted to share this one with you guys. For this recipe, you're going to need fresh green beans, fresh minced garlic, olive oil or avocado oil, and salt and pepper. This recipe is so super simple, but it honestly is my favorite way I think I've ever had green beans. My mom made it for us when she came to visit recently. And the whole time she was saying, yeah, I'm gonna make these delicious green beans. And I was just definitely not prepared for how tasty these were gonna be. But they are super simple to make and really, really like beyond flavorful. So all you want to do to start out is go ahead and start cutting up your green beans. So I'm just trimming off the ends and then I'm cutting them into bite-sized pieces. And then I'm just popping them right into my colander and I'll go ahead and wash them after I'm all done cutting everything up. Once you're all done cutting up and washing your green beans, go ahead and grab a saucepan, fill it with about 1 inch of water or so, and then put it on the stove on medium-high heat. And once the water begins to boil, add a steamer basket over top and then plop all of your green beans right into the steamer basket and cook that for about 5 to 7 minutes or so. But this is an important part. Make sure that you do not overcook the green beans. You do not want them to be mushy at all. You still want them to have quite a bite. So be sure to be checking on those and pull them out before they start to lose that crunch. Now, while the green beans are cooking, I'm just going to start preparing my fresh garlic. This is a recipe. I would definitely not use jarred garlic for anything. I would definitely use the fresh stuff. Just because there are so few ingredients in this dish, you really want each ingredient to be as fresh and flavorful as possible. Now, once the green beans have been steamed long enough, you're going to add some olive oil into a saute pan along with that fresh garlic that you just minced, and then let that kind of heat up together. And then once the oil and garlic is bubbling, you're going to dump in all of those deliciously steamed green beans, and you're just going to saute these for a few minutes until they start to get a little color and they just finish cooking. But again, make sure that they are not getting too mushy. And then to finish them off, you're just going to salt and pepper to taste, and then you can serve immediately or pop them into an airtight container and reheat throughout the week. They are delicious no matter when you enjoy these. Now jumping back over to the sweet potatoes that have been cooking in the oven for quite a while. As you can see, I'm just adding in my little oil paste with the seasonings, and I'm just going to be brushing that onto the sweet potatoes and giving them a little extra moisture and a little bit more flavor before they finish cooking. Then I'm going to pop them back in the oven for about 5 to 10 more minutes, and then they will be all finished. All right, we have everything making progress. I added a little extra oil and seasonings to these potatoes. Do you hear that sizzle? It's so good. All the kids are home from school and Luke is hungry a little early. So I'm gonna go ahead and make him some of the chili. So I'm gonna add my last ingredient into here and then I'll make up a bowl for him and show you guys that. And then we'll get going on the yummy, 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 delicious desserts. The last thing that I want to do to this chili that we made early on in the video is to go ahead and add in 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Now this is not going to be cooked for a long time, but because it is still being warmed in the crock pot, it is going to take out like that very intense apple cider vinegar taste, while it's still going to give you all of those health benefits and also give just a little extra added flavor to the soup. So once you do that, you can just stir everything up, remove any of the bay leaves that you can find in there, and then go ahead and serve the soup and enjoy. This chili, just like any other soup really, is going to be really great to enjoy throughout the week, or you can of course serve it immediately. It is such a simple and hearty chili, and I feel like because you have the apple cider in there and you also have that little bit of cinnamon, it just tastes exactly like fall to me.
If only I had listened for a while, I would have told you I miss
All right, the next recipe, Liam is home and he's gonna help me out. We are going to make candied pecans with some maple syrup. You ready? Okay. For this recipe, you are going to need 3 cups of pecans, 1/3 cup of maple syrup, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 3 tablespoons of melted coconut oil, and half a teaspoon of sea salt.
Like a body of water, seeping through the edges of my soul.
These pecans are so delicious. Nobody could stop snacking on them as soon as they came out of the oven. And they are also incredibly easy. Literally, all you have to do is add all of your ingredients right into a mixing bowl and then give it a good stir. So we're adding in the pecans, the maple syrup, the coconut oil, the cinnamon and spices, and we can't forget about the vanilla. Then we give that a good mix, and then we're going to end up adding that onto a lined baking sheet with parchment paper, and then bake it in a 375-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. The only thing about that is to make sure that you're opening up the oven door and stirring it pretty consistently so that they don't burn. And you'll see in just a minute, but do not forget to set your timer. That's a little hint on what I'm about to do. We ended up burning them slightly because I forgot about the timer, but there were still plenty of unburned ones to go around. But they are so tasty. These would be like the perfect gift for a neighbor, friend, teacher, just whoever. I'm sure they would love them.
So you want to put it in, you want to cook it in for 15 minutes.
And what do you want to do sometimes?
Sometimes you want to stir it.
Yep, stir it occasionally, and we'll heat it in a 375
Yeah,
degree
you
oven.
will. Yeah, you will.
So I may have forgotten to put the final timer on and we burnt some of these, but a lot of them are really good. We just have to pick through the burnt ones.
Yeah.
But the kids are still loving them. They're
I
still
know, these are good.
They're good. All right, so next and last, we are going to make
The apples.
Yep, an apple crisp. Okay, so for this recipe, we need apples, the juice of half a lemon, nutmeg, coconut sugar, almond flour, pecans, that's optional. You can also add in coconut flakes, but the rest of the family doesn't like coconut that much. Cinnamon, vanilla, and coconut oil.
I've been going way too fast, God, you're telling me to slow down.
Well, we have to cut. I got like a pretty burnt one. You have to cut the apple.
We need to peel the apples.
Oh,
Okay.
can I help?
Yep, so bring the apples over.
Thank you.
Keep breathing.
So to start this recipe out, we are just using whatever apples we have on hand, and we are just working on peeling the apples and then slicing them up nice and thin. Now this part was a little bit hard to include the boys on, but also it's just giving them these skills that even though they might not be perfected, they'll never learn if they don't start working on them. So I was very carefully letting them peel the apples and then even more carefully watching them cut up the apples. But they were so proud of themselves that they were able to slice up the apples on their own and use the adult knives, which they know they can't use without permission and without supervision. But it was just a lot of fun having them in the kitchen and doing some of these jobs that are usually too big or grown up for them.
Oh, that works.
Good job.
That was actually way more easier once I tried that. Am I doing a good job?
There.
Oh! Look.
Dazzling like with diamonds in the light.
Now once you have all of your apples peeled and sliced into thin little slices and they're added into a small baking dish, you're going to add in the juice from half a lemon along with 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Then go ahead and mix that up softly until everything is well incorporated.
In your eyes, floating like a halo paradise. Somehow you make all the wrong things right. Now that I got you, we could burn it down, 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 down. We could burn it down.
Go ahead and set your apples aside for a second, and in a small bowl you're going to add in your almond flour, your smashed pecans if you want to add some more nuts in there, your coconut sugar if you would like, along with an additional half teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then go ahead and give that a really good stir until everything is well combined, and then you're simply just going to toss that over your apples and try to smooth it out so that it's mostly even all around the apples. And then you're going to pop the apples into a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes or so. Don't forget to cover them like we did at first, but you just want to cover them with aluminum foil for the first part. And then once they've been cooking for about 20 minutes or so, you're going to pull the aluminum foil off and let them bake for another 10 to 15 minutes or until the apples are fork tender and the top is a little golden brown.
I get caught up in the things you say, painting pictures over all the gray.
All right, we have the apples in the oven. They are going to cook covered for about 20 minutes. Then we are going to take the cover off and continue baking for another like 10 to 20 minutes until it's nice and golden brown and ooey gooey delicious.
Count the moments inside my mind, steep in the afterlight. Watch you watching the colors rise.
Once we were all done cooking in the kitchen, I just had Liam and Noah start helping me tidy up the kitchen. And I don't know if this is the same at your house, but I feel like whenever they are involved in cooking, they are always way more willing and happy to clean and also enjoy the food that they made whenever they are involved in the process of it. And I love having them in the kitchen with me, but it is something that I have to be very intentional about because I do feel like it is much faster and easier a lot of times just to do everything myself because I can move at a faster pace than they can and I kind of know all of the rules or, exactly how to do things. Whereas when you have kids in the kitchen, you have to explain everything and kind of work through it with them. But I really do love including them, not only for the memories and just teaching them some responsibility, but also just keeping in mind that we need to prepare them for life when they are grown. So that way, when they grow up and they're out of the house, they know how to cook, they know how to wash dishes, do laundry, clean the toilets, do all the homemaking things as well. Let me know in the comments if you were taught those things when you were a kid and if you knew how to do them when you moved out on your own. I know it's so common not to learn those things as a kid, and so I really just want to give our kids a step up in that way and just make sure that they know like the basics of homemaking and how to run a household.
It's the sound of your voice cutting through the night. It's a song, it's a note, it's reflected light. Keeps us dancing through the static and I hear you sigh. Said I think we were born for it. I think we were born for it. I think we were born for helping you, helping me see my worth. Watch you grow into someone you're proud of. Hope you get to hold all you deserve. Your life I'll never forget the sound of.
Thank you for the food, Mom.
You're welcome.
It's very good. It's special.
Chicken chili.
Yup. It's a special ingredient, beans, but they're bell beans. They lost together. You said it was a family secret. It's not. You won't taste it. Bee power, bee power.
To my house. Meet me after midnight at your house without your friends. Tell me we'll be alright. We got no doubts into the weekend. Don't wanna waste time. Just take it by. Meet me after midnight. Let's kiss up to the starlight.
You guys, I wish you could taste all the yummy things we made today, and I wish you could smell it because it would definitely encourage you to whip out these recipes. They are really very simple to make, and they all are just such delicious recipes. You are going to love any of the ones that you choose to make. If you do end up making any of them, let me know in the comments which ones you make and what you think of them. And as always, thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me today. I'm so grateful that you clicked on this video and stuck with me till the end. You guys are amazing. If you are not subscribed already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you need some more homemaking motivation, I'm going to link my homemaking playlist right here. This playlist is full of tons of cleaning motivation along with a lot of recipes. So if you want more recipes like this, then go ahead and check that out. And I will see you right back here for another one very soon. Bye guys.